Hello, welcome back to my series about the Dark Eye core rules. We're still in the second chapter, the introduction. No, not the introduction, the core mechanics of the game. I explained the attribute tests in the last video, and this video will be about skill tests. And let me first define my wording. The wording I'm going to use is obviously not the official one because I don't know it, because I don't have the official English rules yet, and I don't know how they translated stuff. But I'm going to use the wording here. This that says a skill in the Dark Eye is called Aestheticide. I call it skill. And a skill can be a talent. A talent is just everything that is a skill that is not a spell or liturgy. So it might be sneaking or climbing or alchemy or geography knowledge or something like that. Then there are spells. Yeah, spells you cast as a magician, as a witch, as an elven, or there are liturgies. They are basically the spells of the priests, and they all have pretty much the exact same. They simply have the exact same mechanics: how you cast a spell, make a talent test, and how you cast liturgy. And how does it work? I think it would be good if I showed you the character sheet at this point and explain you how the check is done. Yeah, let's go to the appendix, to the character sheet, and zoom in. I guess it's okay to zoom in here and let you read it. So here are some talents. For example, there is mechanic, riding, swimming, climbing is somewhere here. And every talent and every spell and every liturgy is associated to 3 attributes. For example, here climbing is courage, agility, and strength. And this is probably quite different from other role-playing games, especially for the spells. In other role-playing games, you are a spellcaster, and then you need high cleverness or wisdom, and then you're pretty much a good spellcaster. In the Dark Eye, this is different. For example, if you're casting a spell as a magician, and this spell is the spell that raises someone's strength, you might have this spell has you roll on strength. The spells will have you roll on agility, basically on physical attributes. Most of the spells let you roll on cleverness or intuition, but often, depending on the spell, where it fits, you have to roll on physical attributes. You have to roll on strength, on constitution. So I think that's quite a difference in this area to a lot of other role-playing games, where it is just how clever are you. Your cleverness makes you a good spellcaster. So, but now back here to climbing and the test on courage, agility, and strength. What you do to make the talent test on climbing is you roll a test on courage, agility, and strength, which gives you a really bad chance to succeed. For example, you are an average character. You have like 10 or 11. Let's say 10, it's easiest to say. You have 10 in every of your attributes. That is not great, not bad, maybe below average. It gives you a 50% to succeed in every test, and to succeed in all 3, one after another, the chance to succeed is 12% or 13%, 12.5%. That's really low. But to make up for this, you will have a skill test, which will be noted down here, a skill value, and it will be between 0. You have 0 in every skill, in every talent. Not in every spell, but in every talent. Every character has 0 and can try the test. But usually you will have a higher value between 0 and 12, 18 or 20. I think there is no limit to the talents. The talents are limited by the attributes, and there is no limit to the attribute. But that's a different story. I'm going to explain that when it goes into character creation or in leveling up your character. Yeah, you have a skill value. Let's say you have a skill value of 10 also. And when you now fail one of the tests, for example, you roll for 10 for your courage and you roll a 12, then you will simply, for this test, deduct 2. The 2 you rolled over your courage, you will deduct 2, subtract 2 from your skill level and raise your courage for this test. You roll on 10 for courage, you roll 12, you subtract 2 from your skill level, raise your courage by 2, have 12 in courage, and then you succeeded this test. And this you will do also with the next test. You will have a 2 points lower skill level in this case, and you can use the rest that is from your skill level to succeed in the agility test and in the strength test. And in the end, what you have left of your skill level will tell you how good you were in the test and how good the result of your test will be. This is the basic principle, the basic mechanic of a skill test. This is of course a lot of rolling. A lot of people roll the 3 dice at once, then take different colored dice in a certain color ring, for example like the red light or something, and they will say the one color is the first attribute, the another color is a second attribute, and the third color is the third attribute. Or, for example, I always roll 3 dice and I just take them how they are lying from left to right. This usually works. But also it can be very interesting or very exciting to roll 1 die after another, especially when you're making a very important test where like you're all gonna die. Not that bad, but where something really bad happens when you like fail, or where something really, really good will happen. You just need to succeed in this test. Then it can be very exciting to roll 1 die after another and see, and then you fail, and your skill points just become less and less, and then you're left with the last roll and only a few skill points, and you have to manage to beat this test. And this can be very exciting. And actually, I miss this sometimes in other games where somebody, you have an 80% chance and then you roll and it's over and you feel like cheated, and I really missed it personally. So it can be, on one side it is a lot of rolling and maybe a bit complicated. On the other hand, it can be really interesting. We have this regularly, that someone says, okay, I'm not going to roll 3 dice at once, I'm going to roll 1 after another, and then everybody is looking at the dice and biting their nails and stuff. So, and when you're used to it, it is really not that important. You just roll the 3 dice, and it's not like you feel, oh god, I have to roll a test. Maybe when you come from other games or something, but I have also played other games. It's not that big of a deal. So let's go back to the chapter we were. So yeah, I explained the basic mechanic of the roll. And yeah, the result, the quality level, the points you have left of your skill value, of your skill level, is mapped to a quality level. The skill points you have left are mapped to a quality level, and this works like this. If you have 0 or 3 point up to 3 points left, you have quality level 1. And the next 3 points are quality level 2. So from 4 to 6, you have quality level 2. And from next 3 points, from 7 to 9, you have quality level 3. This goes up to quality level 6. And usually, for example, when you're casting a damage spell, you set someone on fire or something, then the spell will say you get 2d6 plus 2 or 3 times your quality level in damage. Or a test for climbing may say, or the game master may decide, it takes so long to climb up this wall, but with your quality level you will get quality level times 5 seconds less to climb up the wall. There are actually examples and descriptions in the descriptions of the talents, which give you examples what the quality level means in that test. You don't always have to come up with something completely new. So that's a quality levels. Yeah, modifications. Modifications on skills work pretty similar to the modifications on attributes. You make a skill test. The examples here say from +5 to -5. And this means you add this modificator to every of your attributes, and then you roll, and everything else works just as I just explained. So if you have a test +5, it's really easy. You add 5 to every of your attributes, and then you roll the test against these attribute values, and everything else stays the same. Yeah, that's modification. Critical success, critical failure is quite similar to the attribute test. A critical success is automatically when you roll 2 times or 3 times 1 in the skill test. Even if you otherwise would have failed this test. For example, you roll on attributes and you roll the 3 attribute tests. You always have to roll against a 10 because your attribute value is 10, and you have 0 skill points, and your first roll is 20. Then you have failed. You have to beat a 10, you roll a 20, you have no skill points, you would have failed. But if you manage to roll 2 ones after that, you have succeeded. And you even have succeeded with a critical success. And then the game master will have to come up with something to explain what this critical success means. Again, there are examples for possible critical successes in the description of the talents. So you don't have to make it up every time, but usually you will probably, because certain situations make certain critical successes more likely or are very convenient, something that isn't described in the rules, but in this situation it makes totally sense that your critical success will be something very specific to the situation you're in. It works the same for a critical failure. You roll 2 20s, no matter what, you failed, and you failed critically, and you even failed more critically if you rolled 3 20s. And again, this is independent of any skill value or attribute value. If you have if you are having very high attribute values, and you have a very high skill value, and you roll 2 20s, and you would actually be able to use your skill value to raise your attributes to 20, and you would succeed, and you would still have point left for the last attribute roll. It doesn't matter. 2 20s is a failure, is a critical failure. And you don't get a second roll here like you do in the attribute test. In the attribute test, you roll a 1 and then you roll again to see if you have a critical success. But in a skill test, you already have rolled 2 1s or 2 20s. So this already tells you that you have critically succeeded or critically failed. So these last paragraphs describe only that you have basically every talent. As I said already, every character has every talent at a talent value of 0, skill value of 0, and everybody can try to make a test. Of course, if the game master allows it in the situation. Sometimes you would need tools to make a test. If you don't have them, you might get a hefty modifier, or the game master might say you don't have a chance at all without a tool. You can't make a smith. You can't make a weapon. You can't smith a weapon if you don't have the tools to do it. So, yeah, I think that's everything in this about the skill tests. Is there anything I've left out? No. If you have any questions, this it's not the end of this chapter about the core rules. There is more. There are. Oh no, I should explain how long. No, I make a break here, a cut. Next thing is different kind of tests you can do, and then there will be is more to the core rules. But we will end this video at this point, and make a second, third, and maybe a fourth video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Comment in the comment section. Send me a message. I try to answer. If you see a question and know the answer, that would help me. If you think I explained something wrong, please tell me so I can correct myself. And so far, thanks for your attention, and bye.